She died, but still watched over me. I never met her while she was alive. My mother-in-law, Evelyn, passed away 2 years before I ever met Claire. But somehow, she met me. Let me explain. Claire and I were married for 5 years. The first 3 were beautiful, filled with road trips, late-night dancing in the kitchen, and whispered dreams under warm blankets. We were best friends. Soulmates. Or so I thought. But somewhere between job transfers, miscarriages, and the kind of silence that suffocates rather than soothes, we fell apart. The spark dimmed. The laughter faded. By year 5, she was sleeping in the guest room, and I was sleeping through my alarm. Our conversations turned into nods. Our meals into rituals. Then, one night, she came home late. She stood in the doorway, her coat clutched tight like a shield. "We should talk," she said. I already knew what was coming. "I think we should separate. Maybe, divorce." Her voice trembled, but her eyes were firm. I nodded. "Yeah. Okay." Just like that, the thing we'd built together, 5 years of memories, crumbled between us. That night, I crashed on the couch. The living room light flickered once. Probably just old wiring. But then the air shifted, a sudden chill, not the kind from a cracked window, the kind that settles into your bones. I opened my eyes. There was a woman standing at the edge of the hallway. She looked aged, but not frail. Grief clung to her face, but there was kindness in her eyes. She didn't say a word at first. Just watched me. And then, with urgency wrapped in sorrow, she whispered. "Don't let her go. She needs you. And you need her." I sat bolt upright. Who are you?" She didn't answer. She only placed a hand over her heart, then vanished, like mist dissolving at sunrise. I woke up the next morning shaken, but convinced it was just a dream, nothing more than stress and a heavy heart. But around noon, my phone rang. Claire's number lit up the screen, but the voice wasn't hers. "Is this Mr. Reed?" the caller asked. "Yes," I said, my heart already racing. "This is St. Anne's Medical Center. Your wife's been in a serious car accident. She's conscious, but asking for you." My world collapsed. I raced to the hospital like a man possessed. Rain pelted my windshield. The radio kept cutting out into static. My wipers smeared more than they cleared. And then, just as I turned onto the hospital road, she appeared again. In the passenger seat. The same woman from the night before. Her eyes met mine, calm and steady, even as panic surged through me. And then she said, her voice soft but commanding. "Say it. Say you love her. Say it now, and she'll survive." My throat clenched. My hands tightened on the wheel. I can't," I whispered. "She doesn't even want me anymore." She didn't respond. Just stared with eyes that carried decades of sorrow. And then she disappeared, again. Just as I reached the emergency entrance. Inside, they told me Claire had flatlined on the operating table. They brought her back. Then it happened again. She was slipping through their hands. They ushered me into a private room. That's when she came back. One last time. She stood in the corner, silent, solemn. Watching. Pleading. I broke. "I love you, Claire," I whispered through gritted teeth. "God help me, I never stopped. Please, live." In that moment, something changed. A wave of warmth rushed through the room, like sunlight piercing winter frost. And then she was gone. Hours later, the surgeon walked in. "She's stable," he said, disbelief in his voice. "Honestly, we expected the worst. She flatlined again in the cath lab. But, she came back. You might have witnessed a miracle. Claire stayed in recovery for 2 weeks. I visited every day. Held her hand. Read her old texts out loud. Sat in silence when she slept, just listening to the monitors. When she finally woke up, her eyes searched the room, then landed on me. The first thing I remember, she said weakly, was hearing you say, "I love you." I didn't know if it was a dream. I smiled and kissed her forehead. It was real. Over the next few weeks, we healed. Not just her body, us. We talked. We forgave. We found pieces of each other we thought were lost. Today, we're stronger than we've ever been. A year after her recovery, our daughter was born. We named her Sophie. She brought joy into our lives that we didn't even know we had room for. Our miracle after the storm. One weekend, while Sophie napped, Claire pulled out some old photo albums. We were building a photo wall for the living room. "I want Sophie to know where she comes from," she said, handing me a small framed picture. "This one's my mom, Evelyn. I thought we could put her above the fireplace." My hands trembled. The woman in the photo. It was her. The one from the hallway. The passenger seat. The corner of that cold, sterile hospital room. The one who saved Claire's life, I whispered to myself. "That's your mom?" I asked aloud, barely breathing. Claire nodded. "Yeah. She passed a couple years before we met. I wish you could have met her. She would have loved you." I didn't respond. Because in some way, I already had. Sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I catch a glimpse in the mirror, just at the corner of the hallway. A faint figure. Still. Watching. She never speaks now. She doesn't need to. I know she's still here. Protecting her daughter. Her granddaughter. And maybe, me too.